this is my choice of the top 3 East Bank sites in Luxor. Luxor is divided into 2 banks of the river. On the East Bank, we have very few sites. We've only got 2 ticketed sites and a couple of museums. And on the West Bank, we have 21 ticketed sites. So the East Bank sites I've selected are Luxor Museum. Now, this is a very good museum. It may not have quite the quantity of exhibits that Cairo Museum has, but it has some very, very good ones. They're very well displayed, very well looked after, and they're shown in good lighting conditions. Now, the things that I like in Luxor Museum is the way that it shows the military progress of the New Kingdom pharaohs, some of their weapons. It's got bows in it, it's got Tutankhamun's chariot, it's got other bits from Tutankhamun's tomb, it's got the beautiful bronze rosettes from on top of the linen pool, it's got Talatat from Akhenaten, it's got wooden models like the Mekhet Ray models, so chock-a block with lots of things to see. The next place is Luxor Temple. Now this shot's very good because it shows you 2 aspects to Luxor Temple. If you see the mosque in the right hand side of the picture, now you can actually go in that mosque, and it's recently been restored, and what they've done is they've left the pharaonic carvings on display right in the middle of the mosque. A bit unusual to have this in a mosque, so if you go in there, don't go at prayer times obviously, but go in, dress respectfully, give them a little bit of bakshish, and they'd be absolutely ecstatic to show you around. Very proud of their mosque, and it is a very beautiful mosque. Now, it's actually quite a bit above the level of Luxor Temple because when it was built, Luxor Temple was filled with debris. So we've got the temple now excavated down to ground level. The front half of the temple was built by Ramses II and shows scenes of the Battle of Kadesh. Of course, Ramses loved his Battle of Kadesh. And then we go into a colonnade, and the walls of this colonnade were actually decorated by Tutankhamun. Finally, we go into the area, the peristyle court of Amenhotep III, and the back area where we've got the, well, I suppose you call them Egyptian sex scenes, where it's the divine birth of the god Amun visiting Amenhotep III's mother, impregnating her, and the god Khnum making Amenhotep III on his potter's wheel. So quite unusual if you want a little bit of Egyptian sex. The last temple is Karnak Temple. Well, Karnak Temple deserves a week by itself. It is a massive site, massive. The main tour guide route is very short, and if you go off it just a little tiny bit, you can see all sorts of stuff, and there are no other people around. Khonsu Temple is very interesting. There's been a lot of students working there doing a field school, so you can see examples of them conserving the paintings, cleaning them, recording them. Go the other side and you've got the open air museum, which has the most beautiful thing in Egypt in my personal opinion, which is the White Chapel of Senusret I, carved out of limestone with the most exquisite detail. You can see every barb of a feather of just a tiny glyph of an owl. Very worthwhile the extra ticket. The whole temple is built by various pharaohs, and you start off with the later dynasty pharaohs building the outside, and as you go closer and closer to the middle, you get further and further back in time. So in the New Kingdom we have Ramses building the hypostyle hall. Then we have Tutmosis and Hatshepsut building the obelisks. Then in the centre, well, actually it's modern because that was a Roman replacement of the original, and it is the Holy of Holies. At the back of that, you've got the original Middle Kingdom parts of the structure. There's only really three granite doorstops left to see, but still, it's interesting. And at the back of that, you've got the Festival Hall of Tutmosis III, and at the back of that, you've got the Botanical Room of Tutmosis III, which is another one of my favourite bits of Karnak, because it shows how scientific he was, wanting to record all the things that he's seen on his campaigns as a military commander. Go out through the back of the temple and to the right, and then you come to the sacred lake. Behind the sacred lake, underneath the sound and light stage, you can see the priests' houses made of mud brick. Back past the sacred lake, and you get back into the main part of the temple, and then you exit. So a huge temple to have a look around. Worthwhile taking 2 or 3 days there, I think. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my top 3 East Bank. I hope I can show you around them and get my guide to explain them all in detail. So come to Flats in Luxor and we can give you the time of your life seeing everything there is to see in Luxor.